Good morning. We are off to check out the USS Orleck. They have tours this morning for donation only for the first time, I think. So we are going to do that. This is our first view up close of the ship since we saw it come in a couple months ago. It's so cool. I'm very excited about this.
Train buster of the Korean War. I wonder what that means.
I think I read about that on the website. We should look again.
Will we be able to film that?
Oh, it's highly classified. Top secret.
We'll have to see your ID card, your address,
Credit card numbers. Your house.
And off we go. We are going to get our tour. This is exciting.
Minor drop off right here.
Okay.
Here. And this is the wardroom that you guys are going in right now. It is air conditioned, so now the rest of the ship is.
Association, board of directors, and it's just a thrill to have you come aboard your Orleck today. I want to start off. We'll be going up 3 decks as we go up, and we're coming down 3 decks. So please, if you have any questions, please ask Jay. Orleck commissioned in 1945, September. Commissioned in 1945 after the end of the war, and so it served in Korea and Vietnam. It was named after Lieutenant Joseph Orleck, a Ukrainian immigrant. Who actually came in the Navy and then got a field commission to the grade of lieutenant, and then he was commanding officer of the USS Orleck. Orleck was a sweet tug which towed battle ships away from the battle so they could get fixed after the battle was over. Well, Orleck actually was towing a ship and it hit a mine, and it started to sink, but they thought they could save it. So Lieutenant Orleck and his first lieutenant were back on board, tried to save the ship, and he hit another mine, and a fire in the main engine room caused an explosion, and the ship sunk. He received the Navy Cross for that, which is the second highest military award you can get, next to the Medal of Honor. And later on, a year later, the ship was named after him. Those are both rubs from his tombstone. When a person is lost at sea, quite often we'll put a tombstone in Arlington National Cemetery. Just to represent the fact that they served and died. Those are rubs from his tombstone from Arlington National Cemetery in memory of him serving. After the ship was commissioned, it did various duty on the West Coast. Then it went to Korea. It got a reputation called a train buster in Korea, won 4 battle stars while it was there. The train buster, what they did, they just shot at the beach with their 5-inch guns, and they blew up the train trestles so the North Vietnamese could not replenish their forces. So I think they knocked out 4 trains. They got with the 4 battle stars.
Life on a ship underway is grueling and monotonous, and it can be harsh. So having a place for you to come, sit and relax for even just a little while is really, really valuable. Lots of rules in here. Everything's very, very formal. So the officers traditionally will eat at this table with nice tablecloth, china, real silver, and you have a wardroom attendant, which would be one of the junior sailors, come in and serve you your meals. Not a problem at all. No, I volunteer. I volunteer to do this job because I like talking to people. I like talking about the ship. As Bob mentioned, he talked pretty fast about the stuff. These ships were only designed to be in service about 10 years. They're almost expendable. You expect you're going to lose them in the war. It didn't get into the World War II because it was built too late. But that said, the ship served 37 years in the U.S. Navy. So it's quite decorated ship. So those, yes ma'am, those would be awards for like Korea, or Vietnam, for the battle efficiency, which means it's the most battle efficient ship in its squadron. So also looking up at the very top of the mast, you have a couple of radars up there. The one that's rectangular shaped and looks like a bed spring is an air search radar, and then above that, one that's kind of shaped like a crescent shape is a surface search radar. Little tubes. Okay, so like I said, one of our missions is anti-submarine warfare. We have 3 ways to deliver torpedoes. This is one. They'll be loaded in here, and they are launched with air. So it's just a pneumatic, spits it over the side, and then it
These flasks are filled with high pressure air. When you're out there ready to shoot, they got a button there to push.
The flowers here for a reason?
Somebody did a marriage ceremony on board here.
Yeah, we have weddings on here.
Oh.
You're going to have a lot of junior sailors just standing up on decks, physically just looking for other ships and aircraft. We have 2 flag bags, and in the flag bags you will have a flag for every letter of the alphabet and a flag for every number. So you can send signals to other ships using flags and code. This is the ship's call sign. This is NBIG from the top down. Those are the letters NBIG, which is the ship's international call sign. So whenever it's talking on the radio, it's that call sign.
So they don't, and that's kind of like when the plane shoots the flares out of them.
Flares would be for
But same concept.
optical, but same concept. So, like I said, the ship is an information processing unit. So this is how you keep your information organized with all of the other ships that are out there. So it just helps keep the officer of the deck who is in charge up here, helps keep him organized with what's going on out there. So everybody has specific duties. The officer of the deck is overall in charge on the ship, and he's responsible for getting the ship to where it needs to go. You will have a quartermaster of the watch who is keeping the position of the ship on a paper chart. So he's marking it and tracking along like breadcrumbs where the ship has been and where it needs to go. You have the helmsman who actually is steering the wheel. So this is moving the rudders to give you the correct heading that you need to go. A lead helmsman will send the orders for what speed you want to move through the water down to the engine room. So it's not like your car, it's not like an electronic throttle. You're going to move these handles to where the speed that you want, and then there's one of these down in the engine room that will alarm them to say, hey, we want to change speeds. You'll physically have to turn wheels to set up the engineering plant to give you what you're asking for. This is where the captain sits. This is the captain's chair. And lots of rules and traditions on Navy ships. And only the captain sits in the captain's chair.
What does this connect to?
So when we were talking in the tube up there, this
That
would
one?
be
Oh,
one of
okay.
the outputs for that. You
Okay.
can talk back up there to him. He has a second cabin, which would be his import cabin. It's a little more plush, a little bit more spacious. So when the ship is in port, he can live there. But if his boss, who would be the Commodore, if his boss is on board, then his boss will be taking up the nicer one and he'll stay here first. Okay, so if this ship is a information processing unit, this room is the central processing unit, the CPU. This is Combat Information Center. This is where you fight the ship. So you're going to break up this into teams for your surface plot, your air plot, and your subsurface plot. The overall in charge will be the tactical action officer, who is making all the decisions and the recommendations to the ship's captain on how to fight the ship and getting permissions for any of the weapons launching. So this is number 2 for how we can engage submarines. So we have the torpedo tubes out there. ASROC is another.
That breeze is nice.
Yes, so this thing is going to be rotating. You're going to have the danger zone. And each one of these cells is going to be torpedo rocket. So the radio operators will be in here, and they will do all of the setup of the radios. Also with radios, you can receive data and messages. So we have the old teletype machines in the back that will decode the radio messages and type them out. And then if you need to pick up your message, you will come to this window and pick it up.
Well, they're
That's
probably reaching further.
a lot of equipment in there.
This is old.
Ship's going to move around a lot, so destroyers are small and they get beaten all over the place by the seas.
Yeah.
So this particular spot on the ship is probably pretty rough.
Where are we at?
The smoothest ride is
Yeah,
down and
down
aft.
low. Yeah.
But even there, you have straps
Yeah.
to tie yourself in.
This is a
You're
pretty good
1,000
sized
miles out to
bathroom.
sea. You can
Yeah.
Oh my.
Launcher.
Would they have been live rounds like in real life? Or
Yes.
is it, like just when they're stored, they would be?
Yeah.
Just so they're ready to go?
No point.
So what happens
Yeah, that's-
It's not ready to go.
if
That's
you
true.
use them
Wow.
all up? Do you restart from the ship?
Yes.
Do you have to go
They
back?
took the ship into the yards and they stripped off all the superstructure stuff. They just kind of like sliced it right off. And basically they rebuilt the ship. They put all of this new stuff on this flight deck. There was not a flight deck on here originally. And the purpose of this flight deck is for a drone helicopter. And who would have thought that you would have drones in the 1960s? Well, I was surprised not to do so. All right, you want to go inside the mount?
Yep.
Okay. Around here, and then you'll have guys over here that can do some fine tuning of the turning of the guns. You always have somebody supervising, somebody you're in charge. So you get 13 people in here, 6 hours on and 6 hours off down in the magazine. And when you run out, you got to get more. You either have to go into port, or you have to have the supply ship coming up next to you, and you transfer everything with lines going back and forth. Yeah, food, ammunition, fuel, everything that you need can come through those lines. You can even transfer people. So every small town has a main street. So we're gonna go down Main Street. So what kind of stuff do you see on Main Street?
A barbershop.
Yes.
A restaurant.
Right there.
Restaurants.
Oh.
That's,
Bar?
See, it says Linen Locker. That's
Yeah.
that's actually where the
Probably a
barbershop
bar.
Oh, this is cool.
I don't think there's a bar on the ship.
There would be alcohol, but you're not allowed to drink it. So in the Navy, if you're at sea for consecutive 45 days, you're allowed 2 beers. So other stuff on Main Street, like if you want to buy some snacks at 7-Eleven, here's your ship store. So,
They don't
basic
give it
stuff.
to you?
You're gonna buy it. You
Yeah.
want extra stuff. You want to buy some cigarettes. You want to buy chocolate bars, whatever. You're gonna get it here at the ship
is. They'll
store.
feed you down in the mess decks, but if you want some snacks or candy
Yeah.
or soda,
Just something different.
something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Something to pass the time, so to speak. So we're gonna walk down
Post
Main
office right
Street.
behind you.
For
Yeah,
real?
that's
Oh.
post office.
The helicopters.
So you're gonna drop your letters or whatever, and then the first availability for them to get it off the ship. They'll hop on in there, and here's an example of a nice 2-person stateroom.
Wow. It's bigger
This is
than
actually
a train
quite
bunk.
similar to what you're gonna see on ships now.
Wow.
Maybe better. There's definitely more storage space in here than I would have.
Back there, port and starboard, those are both 4-man staterooms.
Oh,
Boys
okay.
town for JOs.
Gotcha.
There's some
Yeah,
nice
so the more
hooks up
senior
behind your
officers are gonna
head.
have better
It's kind of
conditions.
cool.
So this might be some of the department heads, maybe.
And this is considered like
These
a
are the
luxury room kind
This
of.
is definitely a luxury compared to what the crew gets. The crew has to sleep on the fold-down wire.
Like Mercy
racks.
bed type.
3 and 4 high.
Not even that good. I mean, just like a little, almost
a lot
like
of
fencing
storage.
material with a thin
Take
little
a look
back.
at the back
Sink for
seats.
shaving.
The back of the staterooms?
Yeah, they're nice.
They look good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're in good shape.
One guy, Larry, he was on board the ship, and the right side was his room.
Okay, here's the mess deck. So, 320 people have to eat in here. There's not room for 320 people, so you have to kind of come in shifts. But everybody's busy working. Not everybody's going to stop work and come eat. You have about an hour and a half window.
What's down
So
here?
that's some crew berthing. It looks like. Looks like you can peek down in there.
wow, Look at
It
that
actually
setup.
kind of looks like maybe the Chiefs berthing So that wouldn't be the really junior sailors. That would be like the middle management, the chiefs. Here's where you wash the dishes in the scullery. And so who do you think does that?
What is it?
People on the low
The
end.
scullery? It's the dishwashing.
Oh, probably the low.
If you're
Enlisted.
the lowest of the low, you have to do your duty.
Probably.
That was an amazing tour. Thank you for joining us.
We really recommend Jason if you ever get to come and you get to choose. He did an amazing job.
We loved his perspective. Since he's currently in the Navy, he had a unique perspective than just a regular volunteer would. Although everyone here was very knowledgeable, and I highly recommend coming to check it out yourself. It was so fun, so fascinating. There were a lot of stairs though, and they were really steep. So if you can't do stairs, still come and they can probably show you part of it. But there were just a lot of stairs. They were a little scary.
So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.